Avengers Endgame is directed by the Russo brothers and stars quite an ensemble cast: Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, among others. And this
you guys basically know if you've been following for 11 years and not been living under a fucking rock.
And this is now the 22nd film, I believe, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that started all the way back from Iron Man from 2008 and Captain America and all them.
And this is the final conclusion
of an era of the Avengers films, the main Avengers movies that they've done.
Yeah.
Starting with the original Avengers Ultron, and last year's Infinity War, and now this one.
And before we get into the movie, I went and got this 10 from the theater. Pretty cool. I figured, it is going to be the final Avenger closure. We never going to probably see something like this again.
Yeah.
Why not go and get a memorabilia? So that's a pretty cool 10. I don't know if they got it in your towns or not.
Yeah, and this is now in the story this deals with is it picks up immediately after the events of Infinity War, where spoilers for those you haven't seen Infinity War, but it's gonna be at this point you have. Devastation happened in the last movie where Thanos wiped out half of the universe with the snap. Yep. And basically it's up to the rest of the surviving members of the Avengers having to team up and go after them and restore humanity. And we'll leave it there because there's a lot that we can't go into detail to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, and that is true because if you guys remember, for the most part, every superhero film, including Infinity War, were able to do epic trailers. But did you notice that this film was kind of a different kind of marketing because they literally did not market this film at all, hardly.
Yeah,
it was just
they were trying to keep it as little as close as possible.
Because practically, basically this movie is a spoiler. Heavily movie, almost everything is.
Yeah, and it mainly has to do with a lot of fan service that they've thrown in, a lot from the comics, but at the same time, a lot of story plot points are very hard to go into detail with. But we'll keep it out at minimal as best we can.
We did, if you want to look back at our Infinity War, we did a spoiler, non-spoiler, but just to go in a really quick detail, boy, that was the first time I ever seen a fucking movie that ended in devastation.
Yes,
as a closure. It's
basically into Empire Strikes Back, Evil won pretty much.
Evil won that, and man, that blew me the fuck away.
Yeah, it did.
If you want to hear more on that, just go back to
you check out our Infinity War review. And this one, it got me so because I'm following the MCU for a long time now, and this has been one of probably my number one movie that I've been most anticipated for this year.
Yeah, same.
Because this movie, after seeing Infinity War, I couldn't wait to see what they were going to do with it.
Yeah, the conclusion and see
because they said that this is now it's the final Avengers film in this franchise.
Yeah.
That they build up to in the other films.
Yeah. And despite whatever they do in the future, to me, this is the final Avenger film because you just check our spoiler and you'll find out.
But anyway, in regards to the hype was already surrounding me, and after really upon seeing it, it was what I expected, and
nothing less.
But it was exactly what I thought, and it was even more. And I'll admit, for the first time since probably Logan, I was on the verge of tears at the end of it.
I was too. This film, I didn't expect this film to be anything short of phenomenal, and it was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
This movie was great.
It was everything that what I loved about Infinity War, with the emotion, the integrity with the story. Because to get my pros out of the way, unlike Infinity War, which was mainly structured like it was all action around the entire time, and then occasionally throwing mostly story.
And what Infinity War was good was also the story was about Thanos.
With this one, it took a similar route. I like to compare this to Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, where if you remember, Kill Bill Volume 1 was all action based, and then Kill Bill Volume 2 was a lot more story, more grounded. This kind of takes a similar structure to that, and it works on it very well because about 50-60% of the movie, there are a lot more. They give time to breathe for our characters. They're able to show a lot more emotion. They're able to actually give character arcs that actually come to a great conclusion in this, and you're able to. And plus, they do some. We won't go into spoilers. Would there be or spoiler? They actually address things that were done in the previous films that they aren't.
So basically, I love the grounded story. A lot of people this could be very mixed with people. Because there's people out there when they're in these epic superhero films, they expect basically the epic battle. They feel like the whole movie should be like that.
Yeah.
Me, I see it differently. I'm glad they dig the more defeated, grounded, depressing, just where they're kind of pretty much, just at shock and awe of what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, not a spoiler, but you have so and so fucking just going through so much depression, and you have this other one going to meetings just to cope and talk about his feelings.
Yeah.
Like, they really dig deep. A lot of people did find, like, you'll hear complaints that they felt like it went on forever.
Yeah, the pacing kind of threw it off.
And I can maybe see that, but I'm glad they were able to really just force it into us just to show us that what Thanos did was no fucking joke. It's not like your villain just fucking was just, did something really quick to you and you can recover. Thanos really fucking did damage here.
Yes, he did. Yeah. And with this also, what really helps, what I enjoy the most is that they really showcase all of our main characters in this from the other films and onwards. That they have their performances. Like they take the time to show their emotions a lot more in this. They're able to really flesh some things out that we actually get to hear back from other films that are callbacks that are pretty cool.
And also if you watched Infinity War, we were missing some characters.
And there's also
and they were able to get a story arc in this.
Yeah, and it was really wonderful they did this. And also, one of the other praises I have to admit the most is that the movie, while it takes itself very seriously, it has a very great mix of not only the very emotional shit, which we'll get to in our spoilers more, but also the humor I thought really worked well because it gives you time to really, breathe in and take the emotional scenes and also counter it with the funny parts that may seem out of place, but they still work the way it's played.
Yeah, there is some that are very out of place, and I can kind of agree with some aspects. But the one-liners, they've been doing them every one of their films, where you got the Rocket doing some fun, talking shit to somebody. Yeah. That shit still I love. It's just there was a thing they do that was funny at first, and it was with another character, had something to do with Thor. That I felt like while it was funny at first, I felt like it was more of rinse. They were kept doing it, and it kind of gets quite annoying. And I can kind of agree people complaining on that.
Yeah,
but I'll get to my cons on that in a second.
But in regards to the rest of it, though, the movie also it really keeps you going with when the stakes I feel like were a lot more higher with this.
Yeah, what you were saying earlier before you go in, the stakes are higher when you were bringing up the going back and stuff.
Yeah,
this does have a lot of reminiscence of Back to the Future 2, which was really fucking cool.
Yeah, which I thought was really great. But we'll go into more of that in our spoilers.
Yeah,
but in regards to the way that the movie takes more of itself with the stakes, it makes you think of how they seem like they can defeat Thanos easily. But there's more to it than that. There's a lot more stuff that they have to push through to actually get everything back in order.
Yeah, and it's a journey. It is quite the journey.
Yeah, and the way that they take that...
Some can say the pacing can get to you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's 50-50.
And plus, also...
What scene you're talking about.
I'll admit that also for the first time in a while, it's great to see other characters that we didn't really get to see in other films come back in this that do get to shine more. I won't mention who, but my disappointment with say with Captain Marvel and her movie was that they very overpowered her in that. In this one, they actually show her strength a lot better this time.
Yeah,
when she's actually facing Thanos and stuff,
because it shows that it's no easy task, and it's not going to be easy task. I had a problem with Captain Marvel too, with her just practically just obliterating anything in one touch. I know people say she is powerful, she is powerful, she is powerful. If you have not heard any of Stan Lee's dialogue talks about what he wanted and what he created and what he sees his universe, he has confirmed that what he didn't like, what he did in his world is what DC didn't do right in his world. He went in detail saying that nobody is as powerful as anybody really in his universe. Yeah. He said, of course I want my top villain Thanos to be the number one, but he goes, like, the problem, he was explaining how DC, they got, like, Superman is the most powerful.
Yeah.
He can whoop anything. Of anything. And he said that he didn't have that route. He didn't go that route. So for the people who say, well, Captain Marvel can't be beat. She's the ultimate of all ultimates.
It's like, no, this movie actually...
Maybe for the superhero part, but they want to keep it grounded. And I felt like they kept her grounded in this one.
They did. And I'll admit, like, this is another pro that I give pros more. I actually prefer Captain Marvel in this movie more than I do her own movie. Well, and to an extent. Like, my only disappointment is that she's hardly in the movie.
Yeah,
but she does still... when her presence on screen still works in context with the story. And I actually like the way they used her character.
I can get that the beginning when she, where the hell you been? Because they've never met her.
Yeah.
And then she introduced herself and shows how powerful she is. And then I can get the ending, what happens, and when the epic fight, the spoiler reviews. But I do gotta say that for a con, I do have an issue with her missing at the most vulnerable time they could have had.
Yeah, it seemed like
it made no sense that everybody else had to do go into this, doing the thing, whatever the storyline to get to where they're at the end, and then she just had no excuse to leave.
Yeah,
it made no sense to me.
Yeah, I got you. And then, but the other thing I have to give credit to is when this was. That the 3D in this, I thought was really fucking spectacular.
3D and the visual effects in this film was far better in Infinity War. Even though I love Infinity War, I did feel like they focused way better on 3D in this one.
Yeah, they did. And plus also on the cinematography that they use in this, I thought the color scheme was a lot better this time instead of the kind of... And this is just a minor nitpick, the kind of bleakness the kind of color scheme they were using in Infinity War, I thought was better used in this movie.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah,
so the 3D also helped with that, because you could really see a lot of the fucking, like, epic... When they had the grand finale and stuff, I was, like, fucking, like, having a duck,
Yeah.
So...
And, and then, like we said, we're going with spoilers about the ending, but I will tell you, if you have not seen this movie yet... You're going to need a box of tissues at that end. Because that is... I knew something was going to happen. This was the final conclusion. If you've known the comics, you know that there's something that... I mean, be honest with you, in the comics, there's a lot more that happens to them.
Yeah.
Two more characters than in this one.
Yeah.
But when this happens in this movie... Boy, it hits you hard.
It does, definitely. And I gotta say that...
Now that they do a very long... A lot of people were complaining that the ending kept going on and on. I'm going to, for the first time, disagree on that. That does, for the most part, can get annoying. I think it works perfectly in this film. Because it's actually giving us closure to another character.
And some of other characters.
And other characters.
Because so this movie actually celebrates all the other films and also gives a perfect, satisfying conclusion that, honestly... I kind of wish the MCU would just end here. Like, I'm all open for the future films that they do in the
To me, it's open.
But as a final film in this chapter, I feel like this could work. Like, this could be the last movie.
Yeah. So
that,
now, if I got into my any of my cons, we did go kind of mixture with our cons earlier. Like we said, Captain Marvel was in and out. That made no sense in the middle of the film.
And there's also some plot points.
The run-on joke with Thor. If you guys have probably seen memes, because the memes were out there all over the place. And this is probably his most comedic I've ever seen him out of the...
Well, besides Thor 3.
Yeah. This one, really, he was just straight up comedy in this one more than anything. I did feel like while it was funny the first and second and third time, then we get to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and
I can see that.
Burn out a little bit. Yeah.
As far as like I agree with that. As far as some of the other kinds I have, just minor things. There is something that they do in the middle of the movie that they kind of set up that I kind of felt like there's a scene that was missing that they could have added on to or give us an explanation of what happened with this certain scene. But we'll have to go into more of our spoilers with that. But let's just say that the way they set up this plot point or they set up this event, it's like what happened there? You know, it makes you really question what happened.
Yeah, and then there's something that happens at the end, and it's a torch thing going on. Again, spoilers. I was I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I disagree with it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I disagree with it. I won't go and for the first time ever, I cannot say, well, Eddie, which one do you like better, Infinity War or Endgame? I want to tell you right now, both of the films delivered in their own ways.
Yeah.
For one, this is all one movie.
Yeah, it is. It's
like for two, I feel like there are things in Infinity War I like better, and then there's things in this film I like better. So it's almost like it's so dead.
It's back to back. Like
it's even.
It's
so even to me. Not one is better than the other. I was hoping Endgame would have just went and topped it, but to me, I don't think it topped Infinity War. I think it just leveled.
On it. Well, yeah, I got you. So with that being said, like with everything that these movies have come to a great closure with, and everything that they have done with this franchise, I'm hoping for more in the future, and I'm also hoping that, you know, since Disney now has the rights to 20th Century Fox, will eventually possibly get the X-Men in the future.
Yeah.
But with that being said, this movie is so far high up in my list as one of the best MCU movies of the franchise.
It's up there in my list, and it's now
my best movie of the year.
Yeah, and it's sitting currently as my #1 film of the year. Currently, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go off the hinge here. Like last year when Infinity War came out, you can kind of predict that these movies. There ain't nothing that's possibly going to beat it of the year. And that's why I can't wait for next year that I'm done with these, because I'm ready to give other films opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think I haven't done that since 2016 when I did that with Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really have, that was a year off of movies.
Yeah.
And that was also the year where it was DC's year and we were having bad superhero films that year. So that was the only time I could think of I didn't have quite the good year on superhero films.
Yeah.
Yeah, another little con I do have, I did feel like they kind of underused Thanos a little bit.
I could see that. I mean, they had a good balance with them in this for the most part, because
I don't think they had a balance. I think like I get that Thanos was 100% his movie in Infinity War, but they really just practically leave him out the whole film up until the end in this one, which I felt like
there were some like things that they were missing.
Yeah, there were things they were missing, like, you know, like they give you quick snippets of him catching on to something, and then like really you just save him for the fucking end. It's like, there's that, they're missing that build up where he's now like, you know, where he's like really after him, and then you get the climax where he's trying to fuck him up, and then they get away, and then, you know, he's really tearing into them. Then he's got to do something that's going to devastate them, and then you get that kind of like, okay, we got to do one more fucking battle to end this for good. They didn't go that structure I was hoping to see. It was just pretty much they caught on, and then you get Thanos at the end.
Yeah,
so it's like, I feel like it's empty. Right?
I can see that. Like, I mean, with the extent of what they could have done with, I can see what they were going for, because, like, because the problem with the first event, the Infinity War, was that there were some characters in that were very underutilized that they had to do more focus with, which does work here. But I can see, it felt like they were going back to like their old days where you're not focusing as much on the villain this time as you're back to your heroes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that. So with that being said, with my final grade, I'm giving this movie a high phenomenal grade on the Film Phreeks meter.
I'm gonna go phenomenal grade. I'm not gonna go overly exaggerate high and all that stuff. I'm gonna go phenomenal grade in the Film Phreeks meter.
Fair enough. For those of you who have also seen Avengers Endgame and also the other Marvel films as well, let us know in the comments below of what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And check us on other reviews here and our website at filmphreeks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our spoiler review. We'll see you later.